Hello there. Have you already created an agent in Make or in M8N? So what we're going to do is provide a much more professional interface through an avatar so that your users can interact by voice. You can clone yourself, clone your voice. You can send images to this M8N or Make workflow, and you can even embed it in your website where this agent really comes to life, has movement, and is much more professional, right? And if you're looking for that, then this is really your point. The first thing we're going to do is create our style, our agent. We're going to give it a photo and we're going to give it a voice. So what we're going to do is go to CloneByMe, app.clonebyme.com, and click on New Avatar. And here we're going to name it, well, obviously, since it's going to be for M8N, we'll name it M8N and the name doesn't really matter. We have different styles of avatars where we have the 2D avatar, which is a photo. We can select this one and choose from those we already have configured or even upload our own photo. A photo of anyone, whether processed by AI or a normal photo. That photo will eventually animate. This is one style, the 2D avatar. Then we have the Ready Player Me one, which is a bit more cartoonish, a bit more caricature-like of this style, where we will also be able to create our own. We will be able to create one of our own from a photo, and it actually resembles quite a lot, to then add any type of accessory or clothing. It's actually quite fun. And then we have the slightly more advanced option, where here it's a much more realistic avatar, still in 3D, where through a photo, using avatar, we can create ourselves as well. For example, here I have taken about 3 photos of myself to digitize myself, and it's actually quite good. We can choose the body we want, add the same accessories, hair, anything else, and it's actually quite good. So, well, we choose the avatar we want, configure it, and the next thing we have to do is set the voice or the language with both. With the user, it will communicate, as well as how the avatar will respond to you. And the truth is that here we have quite a few realistic predefined voices, but what we can also do is clone your own voice. You upload a file of 1 minute, 2 minutes, that's enough, and you can clone your own voice, and that honestly is incredible. So, well, I'm going to choose a predefined one. I quite like Guillermo's, and we would have it ready. We wouldn't have to do anything. If you already have an agent in M8N, you don't need to configure here. It is true that this interface is much more intuitive for pasting the instructions of that agent and the knowledge here. And also we can communicate or connect actions for which we already have templates to connect. But well, in the end, it's not about this, but rather I already have an agent created in M8N. So what we are going to do is simply go to the part to get the token. This code here will help us to communicate and to know that this avatar being created, this style is associated with this code. For now, we simply have it there and saved. So now we are going to download a small piece of code, which is essentially an example of an HTML web page to be able to integrate the avatar and communicate with it and with the webhook. What we are going to do is go to CloneByMe on GitHub, and what we are going to do is Nala. Conversational avatar interface is the one we are interested in. What we are going to do is simply either clone it or really download it, right? I am going to download it as a zip file, which is much simpler. And once we have it, we will then execute it. And if we go to the documentation, it tells you to enter the avatar token, which we already have, the code that we already have, and the webhook and the URL, which is the URL of the webhook, whether from Make or M8N, to be able to communicate, right, with that agent. And then in the end, what that webhook expects is a question. Although here we can put any parameters we want in JSON, and what it will respond with, that the avatar will be able to speak, will expect a response. So with that, we already have that bi-directional communication. The rest we don't. We have to do nothing else. Then download it. We would already have it here. And we open the indexed HTML with an editor, a code editor. Here we have it already. And then we simply open it. And here where it says avatar token, well, here we are going to put the token that we already have. And here we are going to obtain the URL of the webhook, in this case, whichever it is. And then we are going to go to our make workflow, which I have here. And simply, we just have to copy and paste this URL, which in my case is all local, but yours will be common. And if it's in Make, then the same, you copy this URL and you have it, and you will already have them connected. If you notice, here we are waiting in the body question, and it will respond. The output, in this case, as we want it, responds from the agent's output, whatever it may be. Very simple to connect. So once we have copied and pasted the URL, we put it here in the webhook URL and we would have it called everything configured. We save it, and what we do is open, double, click on the HTML so that it opens directly for us to perform that test. I have already started the M8N workflow, and what we are going to do is test it. What this will do is send a message via webhook, simply like hello, and it synchronizes instantly and responds. In the end, it's super easy to integrate, and what we can do once we have all that is to go into settings, for example, and we will be able to change the voice. We will be able to set welcome questions, buttons for the user to actually click and ask the question directly if it's a frequently asked question. Or we can even set a full body avatar. We can change the style, whether we want a microphone or a chat window, although it also has the microphone too, to be able to speak to it. We can customize the background, the user's messages, people's messages, the buttons, the text input, the type of font. We can do everything. We can upload a video or an image so that when it is integrated here, it has its own style, its own image, because the one that is generated automatically is lively and quite good. And we can do many more things, like for example, increase the typing speed. Yeah, a very good configuration without having to be programming and without having to be coding. So the truth is that it's incredible to be able to communicate and to make this, or that you already have your avatar created and you can communicate it with M8N. Well, it's amazing. So thank you very much.